So feel free to leave your video on or off. This is being recorded as well. So whatever your comfort level is. And I've actually got it also live streaming. So it's got all the different modalities happening at this moment. Let's see what feels right. Can you hear me okay? Okay. My voice is kind of hoarse. I'm recovering from being sick. So hopefully my energy is okay. And um, yeah, hopefully it'll be nice today. I really wanted to connect with everybody. So I wanted to do this practice, but we'll start. I guess we'll start. So feel free to have your video on or off. I'm going to press the record button in a moment. Let me just sort. Okay, and I got my little spiel for the recording. But again, welcome. Thanks so much for coming live, and we'll start. Okay, let's see here. So welcome everybody to Release and Restore. I'm Jen Barati. And just as always, remember to take care of yourself and follow any medical advice during all wellness sessions. And feel free to reach out to me before or after the session if there's any way that I can be supportive, or reach out to the Vivaya community or your own local networks or loved ones. Just know that there's always support out there for you. And I'm really grateful that everybody continues to make this a safe container for everybody. Thank you for planning ahead and arriving punctually or planning to watch the recording. And all the practices we're doing today are related to trauma-informed practices. So there's predictability and structure. We've been following the same sort of structure for the last several sessions, last year probably. And then with choice, everything is an invitation. So to practice in whatever feels right for you at this moment. And with control and modifying and adjusting any practices as you need to. And cultural sensitivity, just to make this practice your own, honoring your own background. So preparing a supportive spot, maybe on the floor or on a sofa or chair on the bed, a yoga mat or on a floor mat like I always use. And if there's any supports like pillows or blankets, it's getting cooler, or maybe an eye pillow or essential oils. So whatever will support your practice, feel free to bring that in. And just welcoming everybody to the ending of this month of celebrations, of gratitude and moon festivals, maybe ending with Halloween for many. And in the old Celtic tradition, it was believed that souls of the dead returned home. So with this inspiration, we'll be working with the inner resource, this unchanging place of safety and security, this place of okayness and ease, and how the feeling of the inner resource is like maybe returning home. So we'll come into some gentle yoga here. I'm going to stop the share. And then bringing in the Yoga Sutras, Fatihaya, self-knowledge. So always listening to the body moment to moment and tuning into what it's asking of you. Ishvara Pranadhanani, so contemplation and surrender as well. So maybe surrendering and going a little bit deeper if that's what the body or your mind is asking for. We'll continue to interweave the elements of the root chakra, the energy base at the spine. And so feel free to sit however feels right at this moment. I'm sitting in easy pose, Sukhasana, cross-legged. You might want to I'm sitting on a cushion, a meditation pillow or a blanket or a block. And you might want to even bring in the essential oils here. So I have vetiver. I've been using this lately to connect to the to this Muladhara, this earth chakra. That comes from tall grass I found in Southeast Asia, South India and Sri Lanka, Indonesia. It feels very earthy. There's some delicate undertones. So you can maybe warm the hands. And feel free to use any essential oil if you have anything. It just might, you know, open the senses even more. So warming the hands, rubbing them together if that feels okay. Everything is an invitation. And then maybe inhaling them as we start to open the senses more and more, perhaps to this earth chakra at the base. And then you might even want to bring the hands here, maybe either at the back or in the front and the back. So see what feels right for you. And then opening the senses all around you. So maybe feeling the earth supporting you and the surfaces all around you, the ground. Maybe feeling where your tailbone and your feet and legs, everything touching the ground is supporting you, how you're allowing gravity to support you. And then maybe imagining the color red, molten and earthy, emanating at the base. And then maybe starting to bring in an intention for the practice. So maybe around security and stability related to the root chakra. And I'll invite an intention for all of us, but feel free to bring in whatever words resonate for you tonight. Feeling the inner resource and returning home. Feeling the inner resource and returning home. Feeling the inner resource and returning home. And maybe just being curious how those words might resonate for you today and how they might manifest during our practice together. And so we'll come into some pranayama, breath practice, and maybe coming up for breathing space, Anuloma Krama, so step breathing, stepped inhale with a long exhale. And you might feel a little bit more awake as we're going into more the sympathetic nervous system. But let's even just begin by noticing the body breathing itself. So nothing to shift or change at this moment. Just noticing where the breath is in the body, where you can feel it most. Maybe noticing more in the belly, which is more parasympathetic nervous system. Maybe you notice the subtlety in the middle breathing space, more place of equilibrium and calm. And then if it feels okay, you can bring your hands to the upper breathing space, more around the collarbone. And feel free to join me in this breath practice of stepped inhaling and long exhale, or do what feels right for you. So as you're ready, exhaling completely and just in and out through the nostrils. So inhaling, 3, 2, 1, exhale long. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, and exhale long. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale long. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale long. A few more times. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale long. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale long. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale long. Maybe last time. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale long. Maybe just linger here for a moment. Maybe just noticing. Maybe there's greater energy in this area of the body. Maybe you can feel the subtlety of energy flowing through the body, maybe through the limbs, maybe out through the hands, maybe out through the soles of the feet even. Maybe a warmth in the face, the energy flowing out through the crown. And just during the practice, continue to perhaps notice the breath. And if you want to be more active, maybe bring the energy more into the upper breathing space. So I'm just going to change the camera here as I bring in some movement before we get into our iRest practice. Again, just take care of yourself as we come into this practice here. Feel free to stand or sit or use props that are supportive and follow medical advice. Find supportive movement. So let me come into here. Okay. I'm going to come into easy pose and again coming into honoring the moon cycle. I was wanting to do at least the arms of the moon sequence, which we don't do very often. And I've been actually working on it during the monthly moves on Wednesdays. So if you want to learn more of the sequence, you can join me on Wednesdays. But today we'll just bring it in through the arms. And even just using the arms, you might feel the spine moving and energy flowing. So sitting however feels right for you. Just take a moment again, coming back into the body, and then inviting when you're ready this upward facing tree with the arms. So maybe feeling lengthening in the spine. So this axial extension. So we'll be bringing in a lot of the different movements of the spine that we work with. Maybe you feel the abs lengthen. Let's take a few moments here, intercostal muscles. Breathe here. Maybe feel all the way to the fingertips, maybe heaviness and groundedness through the hips. Then as you're ready, we'll invite this lateral side bend, so the crescent moon. So maybe you feel from the hips all the way to the fingertips, maybe even draw the fingertips over. And breathing here. Just taking a few moments. You might even allow the neck to move if it wants to move naturally. So see what else wants to move. Again, just feel free to modify or adjust and see what is the body asking for. When you're ready, we're going to come into goddess arms. Maybe invite an extension here. So opening up the chest, maybe feeling all along the back, contracting, maybe feel along the thoracic spine, but honor your spine, your range of motion. Breathe here. Another breath. Okay, we're going to release the arms, coming into like warrior arms. So lengthening fingertip to fingertip, this long lengthening across the front of the body. Breathing here. Another breath. And as you're ready, we're going to come into, this would have been a triangle. So fingertips towards the ceiling, and then maybe feeling supported on the ground with the palm of the hand. So really lengthening, maybe even feeling the side body lengthening. Another breath. Okay. And then we would have come into pyramid here, but instead we're going to come into a twist. So this might be your twist, or deepening a little bit more, and a little bit of flexion here as well. So this would have been a modified pyramid. We would have switched our hips towards the other direction, but instead we're going to bring in a twist here. So see if this feels okay in the body. Twisting here and flexion. So folding a little bit forward, breathing here. And as you're ready, we're going to bring in what would have been a lunge, but these arms coming up again, sort of like upward facing tree, but with a twist. So see how that feels in the body. Another breath. Okay, palms come together. We would have come into gate pose here. So just take a moment here. Breathe here. We just feel all the benefits of the movements we've done so far. We're going to be coming up the other side of the moon. We would have come into squat. So instead, I'm going to switch my legs. So you might want to switch your legs if your legs are wanting a change. And then we would have come into gate pose on the other side. Just take a moment here. So coming into the same sequence, but on the other side, come into lunge. So come into that twist. So twisting the arms up. We've modified it a little bit. We're bringing in a twist, but it's a movement that the spine enjoys. And again, if your spine doesn't enjoy it, do what feels right in your body. And then coming into that flexion, which would have been pyramid pose, but we've changed into more of a flexion with a twist. Breathing here. And again, just notice it might feel different from one side to the other. Another breath. And then coming into like those triangle arms again. So fingertips up and supportive with the palm. Just notice it might feel different on this side. Feel from the hips all the way to the fingertips. You can gaze up or down or allow the neck to move. Taking your time coming into arms lengthening. So those warrior arms. Another breath. And finding goddess again. Maybe open up the chest. Another breath. When you're ready, coming into that crescent moon on the other side. It's always being curious, just noticing how it might feel from one side to the other, noticing if you need to adjust or modify, deepen, or lessen. Inhale back to center, that upward facing tree. Maybe one more time, lengthening and then coming back. Then I might invite this one more time. I think if we have enough time, we can do the whole sequence just a little bit faster. And I always want to honor your time. So if I by chance go over, feel free to move on with your night. You can always watch the recording. Or if you're watching the recording and you want to pause and linger a little bit more or add in anything else, feel free to do that as well. So as you're ready, we're going to come into doing the sequence a little bit faster. I'm going to switch the legs again here. So as you're ready, just start to settle in again. We're going to do this a little bit faster, but again, you can do your own pace if that feels more supportive. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, arms come up, upward facing tree. Exhale, coming into that crescent moon, lateral side bend. Inhale, coming into that goddess, maybe extension, open up the chest. Exhale, coming into warrior arms. Just breathing here. Then inhale, come into that triangle arms. Just feel that lengthening. Then exhale, coming into that modified pyramid, like a twist. Inhale, coming into that lunge arms, still in a twist. And then exhale, we would have come into gate pose. Just feel your way. Then inhale, we would have come into squat, switching the legs. Exhale, gate pose on the other side. And then inhale, coming into those lunge arms, but a twist, noticing how it feels on this side of the body. Exhale, coming into that pyramid, that section. Inhale, coming into trunk, fingertips towards the ceiling. Exhale, coming into warrior arms. Inhale, goddess. Exhale, crescent moon on the other side. And then inhale, upward facing tree. And exhale. Beautiful. I really love the moon sequence. So hopefully you enjoyed that. And we'll get ready for our iRest meditation. I'll just switch again here. So whatever you need to do to prepare for the iRest meditation, maybe lying in Shavasana or legs up the wall, maybe in butterfly with supports under the knees, whatever feels right at this moment. Maybe bringing in the essential oils again, vetiver, or an eye pillow, which I always really love. Maybe some cozy blankets or whatever feels supportive for you. And we'll bring in the inner resource into this iRest practice, just inquiring into it. Dr. Richard Miller, the founder of iRest Institute, says it empowers you to recover and put back into place this natural resource you have inside yourself. So it may feel like visualization, which can be a great starting point. It's used by athletes, visualizing, making a bath, acting successfully. But you're actually tapping into inner resource. You're tapping into this safe haven or this refuge that's residing within us, providing us internalized, a felt sense of security or well-being that we can return to at a moment's notice. And its purpose is to support us in discovering well-being or calm, maybe happiness or a sense of security, maybe feeling peace or quiet, or even just a sense of okayness. this sense of ease. So, one way to come to this inner resource is through imagery. And we'll continue discovering them over the next few weeks, the different ways to come into this inner resource. But using imagery enlivened by all the senses. So, it could be a place, real or imagined, or maybe a familiar place, or maybe a place in nature. It could be a memory, like a past image, or a life's moment, something that brings ease, or even an activity that you enjoy. The inner resource could be accessed through imagery of a loved one or a beloved fur friend, or maybe a symbol. And so just inviting whatever resonates for that time. And during the iRest practice, you can invite my words or just let them fall away and just be curious to see what resonates for you during this practice or even beyond the practice. So during the iRest practice, you'll be guided by my voice. Feel free to find any comfortable position. It can be sitting or laying down, standing, or maybe even moving in one spot. You can play around with that over the next several times. All possibilities are welcomed, asleep or resting, or maybe even alert and awake, or something in between. And if there's any discomfort at all, feel free to open the eyes or ground the feet or find some gentle movement. And the invitation throughout today and this week, or until we meet again, is to perhaps intentionally practice feeling into the inner resource using all the senses in any moment. So, whenever you feel the need to feel safe or secure or okay and at ease, feeling back into this inner resource. So, let's complete our time together with iRest, integrative restoration, and just always taking care if any discomfort arises. So, start to settle in, whatever that looks like tonight. Body positioning itself in any way that brings the greatest ease. Eyes gazing or opening or closing. Maybe trusting everything supporting you. And if there's any residue of this morning or of the day or even this month, maybe imagining gently laying it down or placing it in a drawer. And just recognizing you perhaps feeling ready and more refreshed. And just taking the time as the senses liberate all around you. Touch of air on the skin. Places of warmth or coolness. Any hint of color or light or shadows. Any tastes. Or any hints of scents or fragrances without needing to attach or detach. And just inviting the body to make any final adjustments to feel comfortable or greater ease and okayness. During iRest, might you greet every experience as messengers or pointers, just as they are, and just taking your time, maybe reflecting upon the heart's deepest desire, your why for this lifetime, experiencing and affirming the felt sense of this, as if you're already living and expressing it with the entire body at this very moment. Reflect upon an intention. Why for this moment or practice, that supports you in realizing the heartfelt desire. Perhaps it's to feel into the inner resource and return to home. Perhaps it's to welcome and be with whatever's arising from awareness. Inviting whatever resonates for you. Remembering and fully welcoming this intention with the whole body and mind. Welcome in the inner resource, a safe haven, refuge, an oasis, supporting you in feeling secure and safe, loved and at ease, at a moment's notice. Perhaps connecting to the inner resource through imagery, enlivened by all the senses. Maybe imagery of a real or imagined place, a familiar place, or somewhere in nature. Maybe connecting through a memory or one of life's moments, or maybe an activity you enjoy. Might it be imagery of a loved one or beloved for a friend, or symbol? And if there's no images at all, this too is a perfect experience. So inquiring into the inner resource, maybe allowing my words to float through, or inviting my words to float away, just bringing in what resonates for you. Perhaps connecting to the inner resource with imagery of being in a place in nature, colorful forest, light through the trees, earthy scent, cool wind, rustling of leaves, birds singing, refreshing, or perhaps connecting through a memory, wandering along white sandy beach, waves lapping along the shoreline, salty air, warmth of the sun, refreshing breeze, or might the inner resource connect to the imagery of a loved one being held or holding a loved one, or maybe even a furry friend, heartbeat, natural scent, warmth, textures, or perhaps imagery of an activity, hiking along a clear path, a few people, cool wind, sunshine, nature sounds, and a felt sense in the body. Where do you feel this inner resource lighting up in the body? Maybe emanating from the heart, maybe a release in the muscles, the jaw, maybe a release in the shoulders. Maybe the inner resource feels like a deep breath in the entire body. Recognizing and affirming, you can return to the inner resource at any time during this iRest practice, and in everyday life, whenever you feel the need for being secure, safe, okay, and at ease, allowing my words to be your words as attention floats through the body without fixing or changing anything, just feeling the way. Attention resting on the jaw, mouth, dissolving through the nose, the canals of the ears, diffusing through the eyes, the spaces between the eyebrows, the forehead, attention resting on the entire face and head as sensation. Following sensation throughout the body, not needing to analyze or judge, just sensing the way. The unified face, head, and body as sensation. And the felt sense of the inner resource of being and well-being. And attention floating throughout the body, breathing itself. With each inhale, the whole body fills. And with each exhale, the whole body falls. Changing sensations reveal something unchanging. I'm just taking a moment here to notice if there's any messengers arising, any sensations, emotions, any thoughts, or memory. Is there anything calling for attention? I'm just noticing where it arises in the body. As you welcome this in messenger, where do you feel it in the body? Not needing to change or fix, just noticing. Where does it light up in the body? And maybe interweaving the inner resource of being and well-being. And then as you're ready, staying with whatever brings the greatest ease and okayness. Noticing how each changing sensation reveals something unchanging that's always there supporting you in the background. Pure being, unchanging awareness, which you also are. And perhaps a feeling of joy appears, joy that's independent of anything and anyone, feeling through the heart space, throughout the body. And might you interweave the felt sense of the inner resource, noticing how joy is also a changing sensation, revealing something unchanging. It unfolds and expands and dissipates back to where it came from this unchanging source of okayness, pure being, which you also are. Imagine going about everyday life, awareness awake and aware of itself, sensing and affirming how in each moment you always recognize the perfect and precise response to each situation in life. Reflecting on this experience, welcoming unchanging awareness and wholeness in which everything unfolds, everything expands, and everything dissolves back in its own time. And just taking your time now as you might transition back to waking life, or if this is the end of your day, maybe going deeper into sleep or rest. Otherwise, as you start to awaken, maybe start to sense the surfaces and the spaces all around you that have been supporting you. Touch of air on the skin, temperature, any sounds, any hints of color or light or shadows, any scents or tastes, all the while staying with the felt sense of the inner resource and of returning home, back to this unchanging awareness in which everything and everyone arises. Eyes beginning to open and close to integrate this experience into waking life. Body finding movement, maybe toes and fingers starting to wiggle. The felt sense of being and wholeness still with you as you move back into everyday life. So much appreciation for this time together in the practice of iRest. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the practice, and please reach out to let me know how this practice continues to unfold for you as you practice throughout the week. And until we meet again next week, and we'll review the inner resource then. Otherwise, I might see you on Wednesday if you want to try the moon practice. We'll continue to work on that. So I'm going to stop the recording here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Was there anything you wanted to share about the practice?
No, I think it was a really nice way to unwind after a long day. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. I hope you get to watch it again and enjoy Halloween, maybe.
Yes, thank you. You too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.